Good evening, everybody. Here is my second follow-up video to the de-risking strategy I had before. The other two are pretty easy. You can go rewatch that one. This one's taking a little bit more of a radical approach, and really only for the experienced, maybe traders, maybe not for the faint of heart, or really someone who's looking to even build a portfolio during a bull rally. Very possible to have happen. So I'm going to kind of explain specifics on how to go about this. And I'm going to start. I call it the 2/3 to 3/4 method. And if you don't like fractions and you like, I don't know, percentages better, then it's the 67% to 75% strategy. Now, looking at this is kind of the general nature of it. And you take 67 to 75% of your crypto holdings. You sell at an initial peak, which usually happens in the springtime. You buy dips of selected crypto in the summer when we have that summer lull. And then you sell 67 to 75% of the crypto holdings at that second peak in the fall. Sometimes could be higher than the one in the spring, sometimes not so. But understand that it's kind of a bull look-alike structure. You know, here is the spring here, down here. We got the summer of doldrums down here. And then we have the one last peak in the fall before 3 years of a bear market kicks in. So if you're looking to de-risk, you have a couple different points to do it. This is what I would call a little bit more complicated and complex, only because we're going to take this summer and we're going to buy, because the dip in the summer is going to be, interestingly enough, this is Bitcoin from the last one. Where we are right now in the cycle is kind of here. So when it does drop down and kind of ranges sideways in the summertime, it's going to be basically on the prices that you're looking at now. So look at your crypto holdings now, and definitely within the last few weeks. And it's possible you can anticipate another return to that in the summertime. So this is a new low it's establishing. As boring as it is to see this stuff trade sideways, it's establishing a new low, so we don't go back to those 50-cent prices or those 13 cents for XLM prices or the 5 cents for HBAR prices. You know, the design of this is that this is the new normal. This is where the ledge happens for it to take that leap off and go into price discovery. We're like on the verge of that right now. Now, I want to compare and contrast. What I'm going to do on the next tab, which is the same thing without my drawings on it, is what the 2021 bull run looked like. And as I mentioned, you had the peak here, the summer here, and then the fall, and then that was the end of it. Looked very different than the 2017 bull run, because in the spring of the 2017 bull run, you had kind of a peak, a little bit of a bubble before it really hit price discovery in the fall. And that's when the bear market hit. The big question that's going to happen is are we on, are we going to see 2021, or are we going to go see 2020, 2017 for what we're looking at now? That is going to be the big question as we're doing this plan, because it won't work nearly as effectively, this strategy, if we're having a 2017 bull run repeat. But if we're having a 2021 bull run repeat, where it spikes, drops for the lull in the summer, spikes again, and then keeps going, this is where this strategy would work. Otherwise, buy and hold is fine. Otherwise, the other two strategies from my other video are fine too. Now, XRP follows Bitcoin, the price action from Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up. Some of that flurries into XRP days, weeks later, and there's where you get some of the price bumps up. But Bitcoin itself follows actually a lunar cycle. And this is tough to believe, because I'm going to erase this from the 2020 bull run. If you had a crystal ball in the 2021 bull run, I'm going to use blue instead. Naturally, you're going to hold here, and you're going to buy here. And you're going to hold here, and you're going to sell here. And then as the prices are dropping, here's where the buying opportunities were. If you had the crystal ball perfectly lined up and you could do that, particularly in the bear market, because that's where you want to build your portfolio. But watch what happens with Bitcoin on the lunar cycles. I'm going to explain this for a second. These blue dots here, this is a new moon, and new moon, and new moon. And in these white shaded areas is where the full moon is. These dark shaded areas are where the new moon is. 2 weeks of a new moon, 2 weeks of a full moon, 2 weeks of a new moon, 2 weeks of a full moon. And what you're usually seeing in bear markets specifically is that it trades sideways or drops, Bitcoin does, during a new moon cycle. And then you see a little bit of a pump during a full moon. Sideways where you want to buy, pump where you want to hold or sell, full moon cycle. Sideways or drops during a new moon cycle, pumps during a full moon cycle. Definitely a big drop and a buying opportunity during this new moon cycle, and then a pump on the full moon cycle. And then it trades sideways again for the new moon cycle. Now, it's not 100% of the time that this happens, but it's about 80% of the time that it does. And I'm a poker player, and we push our advantages if it's 60% or more, never mind 80% or more. So Ethereum does the same thing during bear markets. And what you're going to find really is that when you hit critical mass on some of these coins, they start, rampaging up to $700, $800, $1,000 or more. You might see the same thing in some of these other coins that you're holding, follow the same patterns. So down the road during bear markets, don't be afraid. Understand that if you have the coins that do that parabolic shift, you're in luck there. But also you can build it and set up your buys during new moon cycles when the price is sideways or dropping, and then hold on to it and not set your buys for the full moon cycle when it's actually going up to the upside. And later on, I'll get into the fact that you can set up a free trading view account, and you can set one of your indicators to be moon phases. And you can see this, go back to the bear markets when this happens. In bull markets, things go crazy all across the board for all of the asset classes. So it's not reliable there, but it is as far as this is concerned in a bear market when you're buying and selling. And you may be asking, why am I discussing lunar cycles for Bitcoins during a bear market? Why is that important now? Well, I'm going to go into, again, the 2021 bull run. This is what it looked like: spring, summer, fall, and then bear market for 3 years. I'm going to go over the dates of what this looked like in 2021, and then we're going to see what this may look like in 2025 if we're going to have a repeat of 2021. And this is where it gets really crazy, not just lunar cycles of buying and holding, buying and holding between new moon and full moon, but between the eclipse cycles as well. So 2021 bull cycle, we hit a peak. This is a daily close peak on April 16th for Bitcoin. And then a few weeks later, almost a month later, the altcoins hit their peak. And then we had that summer, right here around the peak, then the summer dropping. This is what the dates of it looked like. Interestingly enough, on May 11th, when altcoins hit their peak, a couple weeks later was a lunar eclipse. A couple weeks after that was a solar eclipse, and everything was dropping and crashing around that time for that cruel summer, that summer doldrums as we hit. And actually bottomed out Bitcoin in July 19th, about the third week in July, and then raged back up. As we can see, it raged back up on that date there, which was November. Why is it doing that? Get out of there. November 8th is when Bitcoin hit its second peak for that bull run in the fall. And the altcoins a few days later, and look what happened right after that: a lunar and a solar eclipse. And it's been a bear market for 3 years ever since, until the recent election. Now, if this repeats for the 2025 bull cycle, what you're looking at is a big if. I just saw Bitcoin peak on January 30th for their daily close. I think it was at 104, 106. I know it's gone higher than that, but didn't close at 107, 108. But it did close at about 104, 106. The next question is there another one still left in it? Is it going to rage up and then the altcoin will happen after that? Or did Bitcoin peak on January 30th? And what happened here? It was about 3 weeks of a time frame, almost a month between the time that that happened. So let's say 3 weeks from January 30th is going to be this coming week and into next week, where the altcoins could also do their raging and peaking as well. And then look what's right around the corner. A lunar eclipse on March 14th, a solar eclipse on March 29th. So keep your eyes peeled when people are saying, and a lot of chart analysts are looking at late February, early March for this altcoin peak in the spring. This is what they're looking at. And it's very possible, if this is a repeat of 2021, you're going to be looking at those dates. Nothing went into price discovery. I mean, nothing, zero went into price discovery after those eclipse dates. It just sunk like a rock to the bottom of the pond, which means based on the similar cycle, history may not repeat, but it does rhyme. We may be looking at May and June for a Bitcoin bottom, August and September for a Bitcoin peak, August and September for an altcoin peak shortly thereafter. And then look what happens 9/7 and 9/21. We have another lunar, another solar eclipse. Again, nothing went into price discovery on that last bull run in 2021 after these eclipses. So think of kind of the erratic behavior you see from people on full moons versus new moons. Ask anybody who's in first responders, ambulance, EMS, cops, fire, how crazier people are on full moon cycles. I do feel that this has an impact on emotions. And when people start emotionally trading and investing, these are the little peaks and valleys that you're going to see, the ups, downs, and sideways. So keep that in mind. You have this kind of as a guideline, as long as we're looking at something rhyming with the 2021 bull run. May not be exact, but if you're too weary to try to offload anything in the spring, hold on to it in the spring and see if it follows this cycle. Peaks before March 14th, drops like a rock after the eclipses happen, bottoms out in the summer, and then see if it starts peaking again in August and September. Now you know you're on a similar cycle. So, like I said, the strategy is for people who are a little more experienced in trading, who don't feel too bad about maybe de-risking. Otherwise, you can use the other methods that are a little more simple. But this is a way to kind of map it out for the coming months and weeks that we have ahead. Because again, once this passes and it's over, got another couple of years where we're in the doldrums. Hopefully, our own coins that we're looking at will be taking off into the side that won't be affected by these cycles, particularly with utility. We haven't seen much in the realm of utility except maybe Ethereum over the past few years, and then a little bit on Solana. And that's why I put in here the exceptions to this very easily could be, XRP and HBAR are some of the stronger performers this cycle. So when they go up during this little bump in the spring, they may come back down higher than the prices that they are now. So that wouldn't work with XRP and HBAR. And you could probably make a case for definitely Cardano and even Solana in a lot of ways. So you may have a couple of coins that you don't want to de-risk at the 67 to 75% mark, because even though they're here, their little drop might be up here. So you're not really getting a discount by trying to sell off and then try to pick up the dip when it does happen, because that dip will be higher than where you are now. You're better off just buying now if that's the case. So if you want to take a little bit more of a measured risk and just get your money back from HBAR and XRP and Cardano and Solana, if you hold them, might be a better option. The other ones have performed a lot more poorly during this little bump, comparatively speaking. So it's possible we could get the bump up in the euphoria stage and then pick up the same prices sometime during the summer. Just an option, just a thought. So use this as a map, at least. You're not going to hit the top 100% of the time, and don't beat yourself up too bad if you don't. You can hit close to it. You can hit close to it on the way back down too, but very few people hit the very tippy top. No big deal. I know you want to maximize as much as you can out of this, but pick the price target that you feel comfortable with. And if it goes higher than that, no big deal. Or you can also do the buy and hold method right through the summer, even right through the fall peak as well. because it's possible that maybe the fall peak might not be as high as the spring, or it could go a little higher. Um, like I said, it's a strategy designed for those who still want to build during a bull market into as we go into the 2026 to 2028 bear market accordingly. So I don't know if this was helpful. Don't know if this was too hippy dippy trippy. I wanted to share it with you only because the patterns that I'm seeing and the own TA that I do, and then the TA that I look at for other people, when I get a congruence of a bunch of different analysts going through this, plus my own stuff, and we're looking at late February, early March, we're at the 11th of February already. This stuff can go quick. So if you set your price targets, set it up and put the limit orders in, and then good luck accordingly. Again, not financial advice, but want to make sure everybody's prepared. The other side to this, I want to end on this note. I was thinking about doing kind of a Zoom call just with everybody asking questions, and I'm getting emails and I'm getting requests for Zoom calls as well. Maybe just do a group Zoom call where you register for it. I'm thinking Sunday night, maybe between 6 and 7 or between 7 and 8 Eastern time, because Hawaii time's all fucked up. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in that, and I can set up a registration for you to do that. And then we can have kind of an open season on questions that, particularly in the time where you want to maximize your earnings on this. Maybe have an investment strategy after the bull run. Anything up to, I'm not going to go over shit coins with an $800,000 market cap, but we can talk about if you're still having trouble with cold wallets and how to store them offline. These are types of things that I think are going to be the most important items that we're looking at going into this bull run, and also afterwards when regulatory clearance comes in and clarity comes in on that end. So let me know, and I'll free up some time on my Sunday afternoon, and then for your Sunday evenings if you're on the East Coast or in the Central Time Zone. Either one's fine. Anyway, good luck, everybody. Giant hugs.